Coming up on today's special Christmas episode, we're going to be having an inspirational reading from one of the funniest books that I have ever written, Inside Timmy's Mind.
And what a crazy place it is. This week's Marijane strain is candy cane.
Oh, I like that rhyme. And as well, we're going to be looking at the top 5 Christmas movies ever. This will surely cause a very heated debate.
And last but not least, we have part 1 of our interview with pyrographer Chris Burns.
Nothing like some good pyrography right before the Christmas season.
This podcast is for adults only, should not be used as a meal replacement, and may contain nuts.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Noobie and the Doobie. My name is Timmy. I am the Noobie.
Marijane, I am the Doobie.
It is the Christmas season. Hence, I was going to say hence our outfits, but we occasionally wear outfits just because. You look super cozy.
I love this. As if I found a furry onesie.
Oh, I didn't know you were a furry. That's yeah, Google it.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, you should look into furries.
I learned about furries from my 15-year-old son.
I learned about furries from watching CSI.
Oh, I never watched that.
No, someone died at a convention. And so they went to the convention and saw all these people walking around dressed as animals. And they went, what is this? It's a furry convention.
It's funny. I just taught Vanilla Savage about furries because her son was talking about them. Isn't it crazy? Children know more about this kind of stuff.
You might be out there right now thinking, well, wait, hold on. I don't know
what's
what a furry is. You just push pause and Google right now and then come back and join us.
Yes. You'll thank us later.
We'll give you a moment to do that.
No, we won't.
No, we won't. So
that sounds like a short story.
What does?
The furries.
The furries is a short story?
We'll wait. No, we won't. That's a short link.
I have no idea.
Sorry, I'm trying to tie it into the theme of the day, and it's not working.
That's okay. That's what we do best on this show. Things don't work.
I love this. I feel like juggling.
Hey, I appreciate this hat, by the way. The Doobie here went out and actually got hats done up.
Mm-hmm. No, I made those.
Yeah, no, you done them up. So you got the hats.
I did them up.
For like nothing, pretty much.
Well, see, I'm a thrifty shopper. So, sorry, I'm like poking myself in the eye. I had purchased the hats the end of season last year. So I got them for like next to nothing.
That's the best way to buy Christmas stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Like on Boxing Day, you should be buying Christmas stuff.
So this is one thing that I keep telling all my friends know, that I don't care about celebrating the event on the day that everybody else celebrates it. I don't care if we do Valentine's Day on the 14th, Christmas on the 25th. I think it's actually better to bump it a week after. Because if you bump it, like you're saying, you get all the deals. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, but Christmas costs a lot of money. So why not save some money and get some deals?
I used to think Christmas costs a lot of money. Until I realized that I actually don't need to spend as much. You know what? It's one of those examples of how culture controls us, and then we get mad. So it's like Christmas is coming, and people are just like, "Oh man, I'm going to go into debt. It's going to be so expensive." And it's like, wait, hold on one second. Nobody's making you do this, and yet people feel compelled.
Well, there's a borderline like guilt. There's a guilt placed upon you if you don't give. And you know, I'm a giver. I'm a huge giver. But I don't, like I said, I don't wait for a holiday to give. Right. I give all year round. I see something and I think of somebody and I'll buy it for them. And I'll give it to them. I'm not going to wait till Christmas. So I kind of feel like that should exempt me from giving people Christmas presents, because at least then I spread it out over 12 months. This is the problem with Christmas. Where's the extra money come from?
I like that plan a lot. I actually
you get lots of presents, don't you?
Well, yes.
But they're things you need.
Here's the thing: people who think kind of like you but don't go full in are kind of like, okay, I'm going to get a lot of gifts, and hand them out throughout the year, or
Maybe
I'm
I should
going
start
to,
keeping them.
or I'm going to start buying the gifts and keep them till Christmas.
Yeah. Except
No,
what if you bought clothing
it
for somebody
it
and then
doesn't work.
they waited, what, 7 months and it sat in your closet and now, like, I bought clothing for my niece and now she's too big for it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I'll tell you why it doesn't work for most people is because it's not about the buying of the gifts. It's about buying of the gifts in the season. There's something about the hustle and the bustle, because I know somebody who buys the gifts throughout the year and then still loads up at Christmas because there's now
Is it the music?
I think it's the music, the atmosphere. Some people like I
The
love
lights.
Christmas. I used to dress up as Santa Claus every Christmas Eve, travel around to friends, some of them who were hours away. My sister and I made it as Christmas Eve tradition.
Your presents was your presents.
Yeah, I would call and organize. We'd have like a list of we'd add somebody new every year and surprise them. So we would have like my sister was like my elf navigator. So I would be all dressed up in Santa Claus. We would leave at I don't know, 6 in the evening on Christmas Eve. I'd have a list of I don't know, the list got to maybe 20 friends and people who were hours away in some cases. And we would schedule them. I'd map them all, and everybody knew that I might not get there when I said, but I will give you a heads up of how the travels are going. And
I'll stop at a payphone.
Well, we had the cell phones. I'm not that old.
I thought it was the 80s. I just
No, I was let's see. I would have already been in my 20s.
Okay.
Maybe 18, 19 maybe.
Okay.
And so I would drive around, and then every once in a while there'd be the surprise. And we showed up at one of my sister's friends, showed up at I don't know, 2 in the morning because we had pushed everything back. And they did not know we were coming. We knocked on the door. And the mom came to the door, was so excited. I'm standing there in the Santa Claus outfit, so excited, great surprise.
2 in the morning.
My sister's friend comes to the door, this is awesome. And then they said, they called for the father to come out.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
The father says,
in his underwear? Did he come in his underwear?
The father yells this, "Do I need to put on pants?"
See, I knew that was a father thing.
And look, that person is a man after my own heart. I was in my head, I'm like, don't put on the pants. I hate pants. I'll take off my pants now and we can all chill.
We can have a pantsless party.
But the fact that they were up and still moving and excited to see us at 2 in the morning. But so I love Christmas. I love the energy of it. But I long ago stopped mentally and emotionally being connected to the need for gifts or the need to buy gifts. And look, if anybody out there is offended because I didn't buy you a gift, then maybe we need to question relationships and relationship levels.
If anybody should be offended, it should be me. Just saying.
Well, you're not getting anything this year.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But that's okay because I get things from you the entire year.
24/7.
Yeah. So
and
that's the way I feel people should live their lives. Don't wait for that special holiday. Don't wait till New Year's to make resolutions.
There's so much pressure. And then people spend all that money. They spend the extra money.
Or money they don't have.
They didn't budget for it. They go out there all out. And look, when I grew up, I feel bad. I shouldn't feel bad because it wasn't my fault. My parents make their own decisions. But every year we used to get a big gift. I got my G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, which I still have at the house. I think it was $99.99. And back then in the 80s, that was a big Christmas gift. Mm-hmm. And every year we kind of got that one big gift that we wanted. And
you were pretty spoiled. I'm just going to say you're pretty spoiled.
My parents were very, very generous, very good to us. We didn't get everything we wanted, but there was always kind of that one real special gift, right? Mm-hmm. And I tried to do that with my kids as well. And then as everyone got older, though, I got less and less it's not even materialism. I like buying things. I think people should be making things. I'm not against that, but I'm a minimalist in my own life. So when people say, "What do you want for Christmas?" My answer is genuinely, I don't know, cash.
Which you're going to spend on necessities.
In this particular case, it's to give me groceries to get through the winter months here.
I asked for a gas card or a Walmart gift card because I figured those I could use, like you said, for necessities, for food, for
Cannabis.
no, not at Walmart yet.
You don't have a cannabis gift card? Somebody should look into that.
I'm sure some of the stores might have them.
It's worth looking into.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a lot coming up on the show today. We've got the Candy Cane Strain. We're going to talk about the best Christmas movies ever, which some people are gonna fight this list till they
I'm
die.
interested. I already know what number 1 is.
It's a very intense gift, or it's a very intense list. It's a very big debate.
It is a gift to us as well.
But because today is also Short Fiction Day.
Oh no, this is the gift.
We thought it was appropriate that I would read to you all from the funniest book I have ever written, Inside Timmy's Mind, which you can pick up by connecting with us, direct messages. It's also at the shop, timmyboyle.com. No, timmyboylecomedystore.com. Links will be below. But I'm going to read to you now, in honor of the Christmas season and Short Fiction Day, I'm going to read to you a story from my book. Are you okay with this?
Yes, I'm just getting ready to enjoy.
I feel like we should have hot chocolate.
I kind of do.
Instead of water. I love that mug. Here we go. Everyone is familiar with the 12 Days of Christmas. It's a story about people who are in love, the special loved ones, the greatest love. What are they?
Your true love.
Your true love. That would be the thing. And I actually think the story is more about an oblivious stalker who just doesn't quite understand what's going on here. And so I would like to share with you a story from inside Timmy's mind called The 12 Wacky Days of Christmas. It's this classic Christmas story told from a comedian's perspective, Timmy Boyle in particular. Here we go.
Are you talking about the on the 12 days of Christmas?
Yeah, like the song.
My true love. Okay. Oh yeah, we go through all the presents. Okay.
Right, here we go.
I'm excited. I know this one.
Day 1. The true love arrives. I come bearing gifts. Ooh, I love gifts. What did you bring me? Guess. Is it a sweater? No. A movie? No. Oh my goodness, it's a puppy. You got me a puppy? Nope. Better. Better than a puppy? It's a partridge. A what? A partridge. A partridge? Yes, and a puppy? No, a pear tree. Talk about disappointment. But then the true love announces this is only the beginning. Day 2, there's a knock at the door. It's the true love, and he's hiding something behind his back. What do you have for me today? He quickly reveals his left hand. Is that a turtle dove? He reveals the other hand. Nope, it's 2 turtle doves. Silence. And he says, oh, there's more? Oh, yeah, there's more. Another partridge. Another partridge? And, yes, another pear tree. It is so silent you could hear a jaw drop. Day 3. Knock, knock. There is the true love, with a giant box. He teases by slowly lifting the lid. The excitement builds inch by inch until, ta-da! More birds? Yep, 3 of them. Hens? French. And, wee, 2 more turtle doves. Thanks. Now I have 9 birds. 10. 10? The true love reveals yet another partridge. And another pear tree. Day 4. Honk. The true love is in the driveway, motioning towards the trunk of his car. Do I hear chirping? Without responding, he pops the trunk. Are all those for me? Sure are 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge? How did you know? The true love brings the birds into the house and then asks for help carrying the pear tree. Day 5. Someone is at the door. I wonder who. Yep, it's the true love. This time he requests closed eyes and an outreached hand, which is reluctantly granted. After all, no one wants bird poop in their palm.
He better have something good this time.
A pleasant surprise it is. The true love gently slides a gold ring on each of the extended fingers. Gold! Yes, and a truck pulls up in front of the house. More gold? No! More birds. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and I know, a partridge and a pear tree. Of course. Day 8, a knock at the door. Who is it? It's your true love. Hold on a sec, I just stepped on another goose egg. Where should I put the 7 swans? Out in the back with the ones from yesterday? What about the cows? Cows? The true love is standing in the midst of 8 cows. He introduces the milkmaids that came with the cows, hands over 5 gold rings, takes the swans to the pond, leads 23 other birds into the house, and plants another pear tree. Day 12. It's been a really hectic couple of days. Along with the addition of more birds, cows, and milkmaids, there are now 11 pipers piping and 47 lords and ladies leaping and dancing all over the place. Does anyone hear that? Please tell me it's not drums. Sure enough, the true love is on the lawn, surrounded by 12 drummers, more pipers, dancers, maids, cows, and birds. He holds up 5 more gold rings and takes a big old goose egg off the head. Within minutes, a police cruiser is added to the mix, and the true love is taken away. There will be no day 13. Grand total, including what's on the lawn, 40 cows, 140 noisy roommates, 184 birds, more pairs than stars, and 0 true loves. What about the 40 gold rings, you ask? Sold. How else would you be able to feed all those freeloaders?
Wow. You know, I never ever looked at it that way, but that's a lot of gifts. And I think that should just go to prove that buying a present for somebody just because you should buy a present for somebody may not always be the best thing. Maybe they may not like the present and it might be a little too much.
Look, not everybody wants to have
How many birds
12
was that?
partridges. I don't know. Just, I hope this Christmas season that you too will come to grips with the fact that there is no such thing as a true love. Well, sad face. Well, at least we know this. The difference between a true love and a stalker is that the true love buys you the one item that you love. Everything above that, maybe a restraining order is needed. Maybe that's the Christmas gift.
Maybe
the gift
one day.
that keeps on giving. So, are you ready to get this thing rolling?
Oh, you know I'm always ready for that.
Roll it! Well, it is time for another Mary Jane's strain. Mary Jane, what is the strain?
Well, the strain is candy cane.
Mary Jane's strain candy cane.
Yep.
That's a high five, and we're not even at the high five.
Next.
Coming up.
Yes.
High five.
High five. No. Mary Jane's strain.
Mary Jane's strain.
I almost said word of the week. No. Mary Jane's strain.
I got myself some hot chocolate. Well, you got me chocolate.
Is that candy cane hot chocolate?
I don't know. Is it? You made it.
No. I did not tuck a candy cane in there.
And you actually asked me if I wanted one, and I was like, no, because nobody likes candy canes.
No, that is a trick, if you will. Hot chocolate with a candy cane in it, and you just stir it around, and the candy cane melts, and then you have the equivalent to a peppermint hot chocolate.
Okay, I wasn't thinking. I should have said yes to that. I don't like. Did your tree ever have? We literally, growing up, we would have candy canes that would be in the decoration box for like a decade because nobody ate the candy canes. They were just decorations.
You know, we have one candy cane that sits in the decoration box, and it has a pipe cleaner, a brown pipe cleaner like this.
Oh, to make it look like a reindeer?
Around the neck of it, and eyes. It has googly eyes.
Yeah, I remember
it's pretty old.
The only time I remember eating candy canes was when I was really young, and you would suck on the end until it got really, really sharp and pointy.
And then what? Poke your tongue?
No. So you could shank your cellmate.
Isn't that your sister?
No. She was in the women's prison. I was in the man's prison. Marijane Strain.
Oh, right. Cane. Yeah, now that we went down that little rabbit hole there, like Shawshank Redemption. So candy cane, specifically the autoflower from Crop King seeds, is an indica dominant hybrid.
Question?
Answer?
Autoflower?
Yes.
So this is the one that you smoke when you're driving?
No. Definitely not. No.
What's an autoflower?
An autoflower. Okay, so if you were growing cannabis, sorry. Are you all right? I whacked your arm there. So if you're growing cannabis indoors, you're going to need to set up a light cycle that's 18 hours of light and 6 hours of darkness for the vegetative state, for the growth period. And then you're going to need to flip the light cycle to 12 hours of sunlight, or sunlight, and 12 hours of darkness, which is emulating or simulating. I never remember which word is the right one. But anyways, you're basically creating the end of summer.
Okay.
So you're changing the season.
Right.
And when you do that, you turn it into flower, into the flowering period, life period of the plant. However, an autoflower is already predetermined. It will flower regardless. You could leave it under awesome. 18 hours of light, 20 hours of light. It will still flower.
And I've seen the amount of work that you go through to grow your cannabis plants.
Yes.
And how complex and specific it needs to be.
Yep.
I would think an autoflower would be the way to go.
Well, they say it's like idiot-proof way of growing. Like if you want to try growing in the beginning, you should try an autoflower. I personally believe that if it's just the light cycle that's concerning you, you need to remember 18 and 6 and then 12 and 12. You literally can buy yourself a timer, which you should do because you're not going to remember every day to go in. I don't care if you have an alarm that goes, hey, you got to turn your light on in your garden.
Right.
You're not going to remember to go in and turn it on and turn it off.
Okay.
And if you don't turn it off when it's supposed to be off or turn it on when it's supposed to be on, you're going to mess the plants. And it's just going to confuse it. It could go into flowering, out of flowering. It's just, don't do it. Just get a timer.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But autoflower, it's.
We should have done this as a word of the week.
Maybe. So the autoflower is a little smaller, a little less buds. So if you have a smaller grow space and maybe less light, because it would grow in the dark. So basically, an autoflower is a ruderalis.
Ah, the lesser known cousin.
Yeah.
The indica and sativa is like the laurel and the hardy.
Yep.
And then lesser known cousin ruderalis.
Was ruderalis. So basically, it's like the polyshore.
What, nobody likes the ruderalis?
No, the lesser known cousin is polyshore. Right?
That's funny. That was my son calling. I turned my phone off completely. Just gonna be real with you here, people. I turn my phone off. I'll have everything off, but my son has the emergency bypass.
Yep.
And so his is able to ring through no matter what, and guaranteed what this phone call is, probably not an emergency. All right.
Okay, so getting back to the ruderalis. Another fun fact about ruderalis is it will grow anywhere. They kind of call it like the ditch weed because you'll see it growing on the sides of the road in the ditch. It's a very resilient plant. So that's why they say idiot proof for growing. It's more forgiving.
Okay.
We'll put it that way. Okay, so now that we've gone back.
Now that we're back,
gone back
through
to candy cane.
From a Marijane strain through the word of the week and back into Marijane.
See, so when
strain.
I was going to say word of the week, I might have had something there. Okay. All right, so this is a cross between a couple different strains. Well-known strains. Timmy might not know these. He might know the names because, okay. AK-47.
It's a gun. Yep.
Yeah, so it is also a gun. Crossed with mango. Right? You know mango. Crossed with white widow.
I've heard of that one.
Okay. It's a bug, right? Spider. And crossed with, obviously, the ruderalis. So there's a lot of things in there. So there's a lot of parents, you know, a lot of strains going.
Like, is there some way to trace...
Like a lineage?
So, like, yeah. So now what happens if you take this one and mix it with, I don't know, monkey breath? So now monkey breath has like AK-47 mango white widow, which combined becomes candy cane.
Well, that depends.
And
it depends. Are you crossing the gorilla breath with or the monkey breath? Oh, see, it depends. Is it monkey breath or gorilla breath?
One's
and are you
one's
crossing
an
it?
indica powered strain, and the other
one's a sativa.
See? That's what happens when a newbie tries to sound like he knows what he's doing. It fails every single time. So this lineage thing, though,
there are websites that can track down exactly like what the parent, like say for example the AK-47, what the parent strains of the AK-47 is, because you have to go all the way back to find the landrace, the original strain.
Because so you got mango in there, you've got AK-47 white widow. How in the world does this become candy cane? Does it smell like candy cane? Does it taste like candy cane? Does it look like candy cane? Like, is it possible to have red and white?
Okay, so let
cannabis?
me just tell you a little bit more. It probably has to do with the terpenes. Okay. Terpenes are myrcene, caryophyllene, or caryophyllene. I never know how to say that. I spell it right though. Counts for something. So myrcene, caryophyllene, and humulene. Okay. So those probably, it's very hoppy and like sweet at the same time. Maybe it has like a smell of mint.
Right.
Okay. I haven't had the pleasure of growing this strain yet.
Right, but you've taught me a lot about how the terpenes is where that smell comes from, and so I could see it. Maybe it has a minty kind of thing. Yep,
the flavonoids and the terpenoids. And
all right, so it becomes candy cane.
Yes. Right. THC levels can range anywhere from 15 to 20%. CBD is less than 1% because it's a higher THC.
Right, because usually you've told me that. Usually, if it's a high THC, the CBD is lower.
Yeah. You can find equal CBD to THC, but most of the time it's around 8 to 10%. Okay. Or lower.
Right.
Or lower. Let's see here. Some people have said this cannabis strain makes them feel relaxed, happy, and euphoric.
Just like candy canes.
For some.
And for others, actually for everybody.
Side effects
for everybody
of this strain
red eyes,
may include
red eyes, dry mouth, or cotton mouth, or
the munchies.
Really?
Well, I mean, a lot of cannabis will cause the munchies. Oh, and the giggles.
And the giggles. Well, if you're euphoric, I can see that.
See, I should go out and get some crop. I almost said crap.
Crop king seeds.
King seeds, sorry. Crop king seeds.
All right. Get yourself some candy cane this Christmas season.
Autoflower.
It is time for another high five list. High five.
High five.
Now, this is a dangerous one. Look, I know that cannabis is a very divisive topic, okay? I have, just by entering into this space, I have lost relationships and contacts, sadly, business relationships, all of that because of this. What I say over the next few minutes, though, in regards to listing the top 5 Christmas movies of all time, could pretty much alienate me from another large group of people.
I'm excited to hear what's on this list.
Well, it's not, you know what? It's not, I bet you there are almost, everybody will agree with portions of the list. Nothing is going to be like one in and of himself is going to cause this thing. Well, one might.
Okay.
But the point is that when you're talking about Christmas movies, there's such...
That's funny. In my head, I'm like, Home Alone better be on this list.
Right.
So people at home are probably doing the same
going,
thing.
I am going... This is the type of list that makes people go, I will watch this list, because if this movie is not on this list, I am going to flip a table. This is a flipping the table moment. But I'm in control on this, though. So this is Timmy's top 5 Christmas. I'm not even going to say that. You know what?
I'm putting my hands here because I don't want to flip the table.
Not even going to say that. This is the definitive top 5 best Christmas movies ever. Not Timmy's opinion. Flat out top 5 Christmas movies ever.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Got my cheering.
Don't flip a table. Now,
if it's good, I'll cheer.
I just recently came across, it was Esquire magazine, okay?
Just seen Esquire? It's like been around for years.
I just came across this particular list from Esquire magazine.
Oh, okay.
They listed the 60 best Christmas movies of all time. Now, listen to me.
That's a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's going to go through that list?
I did not have much issue with the first 15.
Wait, you went through the whole list?
Oh, I scrolled through the list.
I would have been like 60.
I scrolled through because I wanted to see
10.
This is a list that I needed to see. I needed to see where certain movies ranked, and I wasn't happy with one in particular. But the top 15, almost everything on there, even though they don't make my list, I'm like, you know what? That's pretty solid. Okay. And then after that, though, like, in fact, I have 3 of the top 5 that they chose. 3 of those top 5 are in my list. Okay, so I was very happy with kind of that top 5 and into the top 15.
Okay.
Moving on from there, though, it got dicey. Like, I considered maybe 7 of the next 45 like decent Christmas movies. So, like, we're talking, I honestly think that when you're talking about Christmas movies, good ones, 25 might be the deepest you want to go into a list. Like, once you start to hit 25 of these movies and go on to like Esquire's 60 best Christmas movies, I bet you will be able to go, you know what, this could easily go off the list. This could go off the list. This could go off the list. And you probably get yourself down to maybe 25, maybe 30, which means that 25 is that number where you got, okay, this one, does it make it? Does it not?
That's funny. I can see the brainstorming session now. Come on. I need another one. Just find another one.
60 is lazy. And if you saw this list, you'd be like, that's not even close to a Christmas movie. Esquire magazine, you can do better. 60 is just lazy writing. People are just like, I'm just going to Google Christmas movies and put them, because I don't even think, like, I'm going to tell you this, Eyes Wide Shut. You know the movie Eyes Wide Shut? That really weird movie?
I've never seen it, but I've seen the cover.
Okay.
It's Kidman, right?
It was ranked, okay? Eyes Wide Shut was ranked ahead of Die Hard. Now, you might not think Die Hard's a Christmas movie. It doesn't matter, but nobody thinks Eyes Wide Shut.
Is that a Christmas movie?
Apparently it has some underlining Christmas theme. I thought it was about weird Illuminati people, but anyways.
I've never seen it.
Right away I was upset. But I've even, look, there were ones in there, some recent ones. Office Christmas Party, that was with Bateman and TJ Miller.
That's a good movie.
Anything Bateman's in is good. We're talking Seth Rogen's The Night Before was pretty funny. You made me watch that one. A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas, which I'm going to review on the next episode.
It's good for Harold and Kumar.
Well, in a top 60 Christmas movies, it's fine to be on there.
For sure.
Okay, but 25 is as far as I would go, and 5 is real. Like, this was tough, actually. When I got to past the first 3 for me, I was like, ooh, which ones do I put into 4 and 5? Like, that's how tight it gets. Okay. So I think 25 would give, but I'm not doing a Timmy's high 25 list. I'm doing a high 5 list.
High 5.
High 5. Here's what is clear. No matter where you stand on this Christmas movie list thing, the 50s and the 60s, and the 80s going into early 90s is Christmas gold. Okay? Like, pretty much every movie in the top 15 on this list, and probably in my own list, comes from those 2 eras. In fact, I believe that 1983 to 2003 might be the golden age of Christmas movies. Okay? Now, I would say this. The Christmas movie canon, I'm using that's a religious term. They closed, like Genesis was the beginning of the Bible, Revelation was the end, and then they said the canon was closed. This is the official Bible. I'm saying that the Christmas movie canon could be closed in that window, starting at 1983 to 2003. Some other books might kind of, you say, can we include those? And you say, well, yeah, you could probably include some from the 50s and 60s. But really, you would not be missing much if you watched movies in that 20-year span.
Didn't A Christmas Carol come out before that?
It did. And that would be one that I would probably see as an exception.
Okay.
So here we go. Here are the top 5 Christmas movies of all time. Not according to Esquire, because I think they're horribly wrong. I don't even think they listed them in order. It was a very lazy list, Esquire. Here they are. Number 5 is Elf, okay, with Will Ferrell. It was 2003. It was listed as number 13 on Esquire's list.
13?
This is the last great Christmas movie that has been made. We're talking 20 years now. There has not been a good, at least what I would consider a classic. There has not been a classic Christmas movie made since Elf in 2003. It's been 20 years. That was the last of the that's why I say 1983 to 2003. Elf closed it off. Mm-hmm. Interesting to note, though, Bad Santa came out in 2003 as well, which we watched together. I had never seen before. And an incredibly dark, twisted story. Yeah. But I was fascinated because it was actually a really good story. And I actually would recommend Bad Santa. It didn't make my list here of top 5. But definitely, it was number 8 on Esquire's list. I was surprised by that, but also not surprised because it is a way better Christmas movie than I think people would think. That's with that guy who used to carry Angelina Jolie's blood in a thing around his neck.
What is that?
Bad Santa.
Oh,
you know that guy.
I don't want to admit I think he's sexy. I know his name. Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yes.
Okay. So anyways, 2003 was actually a really good year. Come out with the family classic Elf and Bad Santa. A great story, underrated. Not sure it should have made top 10, but an interesting choice, Esquire. But I think Elf is number 5 in my list, and I don't believe I think 2003 was the last time a classic Christmas film has been made.
Well, I just want to say that Elf is a must-watch for our family. Every year, the kids and I watch it on Christmas.
That's what we did too. It quickly fell into our family's pattern. Yeah. Number 4, 1990, was the original Home Alone. Right? See, I didn't even do that. I am not a yes man. Believe me, if it was not on my list, I wouldn't have done it just to please her.
I actually have a soft spot for Macaulay Culkin. I know you're out there, and I know you're doing well.
Well, and why wouldn't he be watching this? Everyone else is. The original Home Alone, I still find funny. They have tried desperately. I mean, when they tried to make the movies again. Now, listen, Home Alone is definitely not a parenting manual. That's probably not to be used in that form. But so many people have tried to recreate not only that franchise, but tried to create the same scenarios with other situations. I think movie just got done very recently with this chubby kid in England or something like that. Anyways, I think I saw a trailer for it. Don't do it. Do not try to copy this movie. The original Home Alone is a standalone movie and should be on everybody's top 5. It was on Esquire's at number 5. It is in my list at number 4.
Everybody knows Kevin McAllister and the...
Right? Who doesn't love that? Number 3 on the top 5 Christmas movies of all time is A Christmas Vacation, 1989. It was number 2 on Esquire's magazine, so we agreed as well. At least it's in the top 3 with Chevy Chase. So many great lines. His Christmas rant is a classic. Just Google Chevy Chase Christmas rant. But you've got to see Christmas Vacation.
Everybody knows the house full of lights, right? And the station wagon with the tree on top.
Right.
Actually, on the way to your house, Did you see that the other day? You stop, he probably missed it because
Yeah,
he just drives. But you stop at the stop sign, and as you're making the turn, there's a station wagon, and they've got a tree on top of it.
Okay.
And the tree's all lit up.
Interesting.
They've got it plugged in. It's literally just a decoration.
Okay, it's on the house. It's on the car.
It's on the car right in front of the house.
Sweet.
Like the Griswolds. The Griswolds. Love them.
That movie has almost perfect comedic timing all the way through. Even throws in this little emotional moment where Clark is up in the attic and he starts to cry watching old home movies, and they break that moment in a perfect way. It would be up there, not just a great Christmas movie, but might up there be with almost a perfect comedy film. So Christmas Vacation, number 3 on my list, number 2 on the Esquire one. We switched here. We flipped our number 2 and 3s around because I believe that my number 2, A Christmas Story, is slightly ahead of Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
And I think you could go back and forth, and I wouldn't even argue with you. But I put A Christmas Story here. You know A Christmas Story?
I have not seen it, but I think you're going to tell me it's the one with the little kid in the glasses and the tongue getting stuck to the pole and the leg lamp.
And the leg lamp, which I own.
Okay, see, that's
all
I need to know,
have you heard
right?
You'll shoot your eye out?
No.
Oh, okay. We need to watch that this Christmas.
Okay.
Just like, okay, so Marijane makes me watch stoner flicks.
Well, not just stoner flicks. I guess it's a certain genre.
Yeah, it's
movie.
It's movies that would be enjoyed mostly by stoners.
Like American Pie or Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Yes, we did watch that too.
Oh no, I just remembered the 4-wheeler.
Okay. That was funny. I
I
did enjoy that one. And I will be reviewing Harold and Kumar's Christmas next episode, so stay tuned for that. But I'm going to make you watch A Christmas Story this thing. Because I do believe it is definitely number 2 for sure on my list.
Okay.
I'm going to give a couple honorable mentions right here before I list number 1. The Year Without Santa Claus is a 1974 claymation one with it's.
Sorry, I giggle. I think claymation is funny.
I personally find Heat Miser and Cold Miser. He's Mr. Heat Miser. He's Mr. Cold. Something like that. I don't know all the lyrics. But you need to.
Now I want to see this.
I used to have all the little figurines. It was a staple in my household. It was an hour long. The Year Without Santa Claus, 1974. You need to check that out. It wasn't on Esquire's list. It didn't even make their 60 list. Esquire, you suck. Like
you know how long it takes to make a claymation anything?
To completely ignore that movie on a list of 60 Christmas movies that had Eyes Wide Shut on it. Can I flip this now? I want to flip the table. So that one and How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original cartoon. It was only 26 minutes long, but
not the Jim Carrey one.
No, the Jim Carrey one was questionable for me.
I kept seeing The Mask. That was the problem I felt with that, is because they used the same character or the same actor that played in The Mask, and The Mask was also a green face.
Oh,
so it was hard for him. He had the same voice.
I kept seeing the Cat in the Hat.
Oh, and maybe they wait. Wasn't that Mike Myers?
It was.
Oh.
But that was the face.
Even worse.
I saw that kind of weird nose. That weird nose.
Oh, I think they did kind of have the same sort of prosthetic.
Same kind of snout area.
But they're both Dr. Seuss.
But you need to watch the cartoon. The cartoon is classic. It needs to be watched I think I own it still on VHS. Okay. It's 26 minutes long, and the reason why it's not on my top 5, it would be in my top 10 for sure. And it is the most bang for its buck. Like, it is a 26-minute experience that is as good as any full-length film. So
it's technically not a movie. It's
a cartoon.
A short.
Yes, it's a short. Exactly. Okay. It's called a short, and but it's cartoon, not claymation. But I would check out both of those non-live action ones for sure. They would be in my top 10. Just didn't make my top 5, but they need to be mentioned. A Year Without Santa Claus, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the cartoon original version from 1966. You got to sit down your kids and watch those. Or, you know what? No, Don't even bring the kids. Sometimes they get too chatty. Watch those as adults. Light up a joint if you need to, whatever. And then number 1 on my list, and with this I close, ladies and gentlemen, Yippee-ki-yay, mother... We'll bleep that out.
Oh, are you going to show your sweater?
This is my... Okay, so this is my sweater. This is my...
This was last year's Christmas present.
Yep, this is their hair. Look at...
Oh, you can't see it.
You can't really see it on the camera.
We'll make a video.
But it's glowing. So this is my Christmas sweater. Die Hard is, without a doubt, a Christmas movie. It is also the number 1 Christmas movie of all time. I feel like deserves a little cheer. If you agree with me that a Christmas Vacation was a pretty perfect comedy film, Die Hard could be one of the most perfect films from beginning to end. The fact that it is also a Christmas movie, there is no doubt in my mind that it is number 1. I love Christmas Vacation a lot. I watch it every year. I watch A Christmas Story every year. I watch Home Alone almost every year. These are all fantastic films, but nothing comes close to Die Hard. It is not only is it the greatest Christmas film of all time, it is one of the greatest films of all time. And how Esquire put it at 26 behind Eyes Wide Shut. I will never, ever read Esquire again. I've never read Esquire in the first place.
Shame.
But Die Hard is, let's just set the record straight. Die Hard is a Christmas movie, one of the greatest movies of all time, and definitely the greatest Christmas movie of all time. Do you have anything you want to throw in about this list as we get ready to wrap up this high five?
Okay, so I have one thing to add about Die Hard because I already added my sense as we went along. Die Hard is not only one of the better comedies that I've seen, and I watch a lot of comedies. It's one of the better action movies that I've seen because I don't like action movies. So it's a very good balance between action and comedy and a little bit of romance in there too.
A little bit of romance, a great story, a great villain, a great characters,
and it's
great
not
writing.
It doesn't feel like it's like, you know, like in certain action movies, you know it's going to be an action movie because from the very, very beginning, it starts, bam! This one you're like, wait, what's going on? Like you're saying, in the story part of it.
I am going to, in the new year, during a cinema review, I know it's not a stoner flick, but I'm going to spend some time, because I really need to break down Die Hard, and I'm going to do it here probably on the show. I watch Die Hard every year on Christmas Eve with my daughter. I might not be able to do it this year. Life is slowly changing. But I'll tell you that is my Christmas Eve movie, Die Hard. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, wait.
Comment.
Before you're done, I have one thing. I'm done with the list. But I have one more thing I just want to say.
Oh.
Because you said we have to watch A Christmas Story.
Yes.
And I've never seen that. And I'm pretty sure you've never seen this show that I found on Netflix just recently. It's called Happy. It's also a Christmas movie. Or no, it's a series because there's 2 seasons.
Oh, you've told me about Happy.
Yes. I started watching it because it had an imaginary unicorn. And that's all I'm going to say.
Why wouldn't you watch it then?
Yes. And it's a Christmas thing. So if you're looking for something to watch, and you've already run through Timmy's list of movies.
And that's not on Esquire's 60, so clearly there's even more out there.
Well, you see, that Happy show was not technically what I thought it was going to be. And not generally what I watch, but I couldn't look away.
Well, if you're looking for something interesting on the Christmas season, I'm going to take her word for it that it's in there. It's not on my top 5, but please comment below in whatever form you're watching this at. Send us a message. Let me know where I'm wrong.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. But let me know where I'm right, and let me know which other movies you would put. Let's increase it to a top 10, and let's just assume my top 5 are right. What would be the 5 after those would be the better way to put it.
And see, I want to say, what is your top 5? I'm going to make my own top 5 movie list. It will be different because obviously I've never seen A Christmas Story. So.
That's my high 5 list. Merry Christmas.
High 5.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of On the Spot with the Noobie and the Doobie. We are so excited today to be joined by Chris Bennett / Chris Burns. There's a story around that, but Chris, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me there, Timmy.
First of all, I really like your shirt. I just wanted to throw that out.
See, I really like that he said Timmy.
Well, that's my name.
Well, I know, but so many times people call you Tim, and I'm like, who's Tim?
That's
Do you know
true.
who Tim Boyle is? He's a car salesman in Idaho. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's nobody.
He's
but
nobody,
Timmy
but Timmy,
Boyle.
He's somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know if...
He's definitely a Timmy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, you're definitely a Chris. I think you're a Chris Burns. I know. Let's talk about the Chris Bennett / Chris Burns, because I like the name Chris Burns. You look like a Chris Burns. Your work reflects Chris Burns. Let's talk this out. Let's make sure we call you what you want to be called, Chris.
Well, I guess we'll go with Bennett these days. Chris Burns is a moniker that kind of started around 2009 when I took my wood burning hobby and turned it into a full-time business. So Chris Burns just kind of went along with that. I had considered even legally changing it just because it went so well together with my artwork. And I had so many people ask, is your name really Burns? Because that's pretty convenient. I kind of wanted to be able to follow up with, yes, it is. But I stuck with Bennett. And now that I'm back working in the legal system, we're going with the government name. So Bennett it is.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you're aware that Marijane Baker changed her name legally.
Yes, my parents were not that cool, and they didn't have foresight that I would get into this industry. I just really, really love infusing baked goods, so I was like, it's perfect. So I would be like, you should change your name. If you want to go legal, I think you should change it. It's only like $117.
Yeah, I heard it's actually not too bad of a process to get done, but I don't know, it might still be on the table. Marijane Baker works very well for you.
Yeah.
Not sure if you're willing to expose what the original name was, but we can just go with Marijane Baker.
I will give you the first name. It was Janice.
Boo.
Yeah, a very boring, and if you check television in history, the most annoying television characters are named Janice. Or Jan, which is even worse. I'm not even going to go there.
Fair enough. You had the Jane in there, the Jan part of it.
Yes.
Yeah, you still kept it.
It's
yeah.
funny because I sign MJ all the time, and my initials used to be JM. So I just kind of like flip them.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
See, there's a way to do it. Timmy was also a branding name. So okay, I understand, you want to go with the legal name of Chris Bennett, dealing with just keeping it all above board legal type of thing. But I thought your name was Chris Burns, and especially when I saw your artwork, and I wasn't as familiar with you as MJ was, but I see your artwork, you're burning wood. I actually thought what people think of her and go, wow, his name's Burns and he burns wood? That's amazing. So what is it about burning wood that got you excited? How did you talk to us about, first of all, what
it's funny,
you do
say
in the process?
Burning wood, because it's not just burning wood.
That's what I want him to explain.
Yeah, he's going to get into it. And Chris, I'm guessing some of that artwork behind you is yours.
A few pieces. My house is littered with artwork from people that I've met along the way.
Yeah.
I'd like to kind of display theirs more than mine, but there are some pieces of mine kicking around here.
Yeah. I've had the pleasure of actually seeing, I got a little sneak peek inside Chris's place, and the artwork inside is beautiful, and you can see all of it on his Instagram, which we'll share a link to. But yeah, explain what it is, because you're not just burning wood.
Yeah, I mean, at the base of it, you kind of are
Thank
burning
you.
wood. But,
I tried to give you a little bit more credit. Come on, Chris.
no, I don't, honestly, saying I'm a wood burner, or the more fancy term pyrographer, never really I don't know, I never liked the title. I mean, even though that is essentially what I'm doing, and it was always hard for me to kind of just say I'm a straight up artist, but yeah, I don't know, wood just kind of reached out to me. I had no real background or experience with it. I took it in college as kind of a third strike program where the first two things I took didn't work out. And I was like, I either need to, on this final attempt at college, I was going to go into an art program to kind of go down that road because I'd always been into it. But I decided to go with the trade. So I ended up taking a cabinet making class, or like a course. I got a diploma in it and stuff. Worked with wood for quite a long time after that. And I basically just used one of these old school wood burning pens to sign my name on like a dresser that I had made. And then I realized, I can pretty much draw anything on this wood with fire, and it's pretty unique and cool, which really appealed to me because the thing that prevented me from going down the art route is I always felt like I personally knew like 100 people that were better artists than me. And I didn't really want to go into something I'd have to compete like that. And I had a few student loans to pay for after college. So I'm like, going down the trades route is going to give me a skill that, I'll be able to actually make some money and people won't be able to take away and won't be as competitive kind of thing. So when I kind of discovered wood burning, it was like, this is something that not a lot of people are doing and I can really own and focus on. So that really appealed to me.
Well, I can tell you that I really appreciate anybody who works with their hands. I've often talked about this live on stage, and I've said it here on the show, but I don't know if you can tell, Chris, but if you ever felt my hands, these are comedian hands. These are hands that have never really faced a hard day's work in their life.
They're actually softer than most children's hands.
Yeah, they're very nice. Although I did have to polish some boats over the last couple months to
which polished your
money,
hands.
Which polished my hands. But I was really intrigued when you just said that you hesitated to call you an artist, because I've been on your Instagram page.
He's so humble, right?
And that's like art by every definition. So what is it that makes you hesitate calling yourself an artist? Because I definitely see the connection.
I know the answer to this. It's the internal demons inside your head that are telling you that you're not good enough. And that's not true, because like Timmy, I've been on that page, Chris.
Yeah, no. There's definitely some internal demons. It's not so much that they're not telling me I'm good enough.
Sorry, those are my demons speaking. That's what they tell me.
My demons more kind of say that everyone's an artist. I've kind of always really felt that way. I think, everyone has their own unique style. And to me, art really isn't about who can draw the most accurate portrait. There's a lot of incredibly accurate, talented, technical drawers that aren't the most famous artists in the world. I, at an early age, realized, I was winning art awards in school and stuff like this. And I'd look over to my best buddy and he was drawing stick figures. And he's like, I can't draw at all. And there was like a simplicity and beauty to his drawings that I knew I could never recreate. So I'm like, everyone has their own unique art in them. So, for one, it was kind of, based on that, just, trying to preach that everyone is a bit of an artist if they want to be, and kind of recognize that. But also, I just, it was a hobby. And the only reason I started to do it full time was to treat it like a business. And I always came at it from a very business minded approach. When I started to go full time with my art, there probably aren't too many artists that had such elaborate and detailed Microsoft Excel sheets about their day-to-day work as an artist. And that really, really helped me to kind of be able to do it and sustain it as a business. So it always seemed more like a business venture to me than an art thing, because I was surrounded by so many more artists that, were incredibly talented that just, didn't treat it like that, even kind of opposed treating art like business. And it always worked for me. And I kind of, if you say you're an artist, it just kind of gets attached with all those, unfortunately, sometimes like, flaky or, I don't know, kind of things that, just weren't part of my art. I was really about, you tell me what you want, you're the client. I don't need to have like a big artistic vision and, that's going to, you're not going to cramp my creativity if I'm just making you a sign kind of thing. It was very business approach to the whole thing. So I think that's always where my hesitation came. But, after, a decade plus of doing it, I have realized that I am an artist and people treat me like that. And, it's not something to be ashamed of or anything.
Well, I am the first part. That's beautiful because it's true. Everybody is an artist, and like myself, I paint in paint pouring. You basically just take colors, put it in a cup, put it on a canvas. Anybody can do this, but you're right. Everybody's
I've tried
color
to do
choice is different. Everybody's method, the way they move, the finished product is completely different. So I agree. Everybody is an artist, whether it's telling jokes or painting or woodwork. And I just want to say on the second part, as an artist, I wish I treated my art a little bit more like business, because then I wouldn't be giving things away and I wouldn't be undercutting myself. I would value my time and my work. And maybe the starving artist, like, method of thought would disappear if people would just treat art a little bit more like business. So, and I just want to say personally, as you were talking, I was thinking about the 7 acres sign that you had done. My God, that was beautiful. That is beautiful. I'm like, I love that sign. And I'm sure that was commissioned, right? Like you went in and said, tell me what you need.
Yeah, that was actually for an event. As things were getting closer to legalization, I started to hook up with 7 acres, and kind of like I could see the legal industry was on its way. And, pun intended, I was getting burnt out on burning like, cat portraits to pay every phone bill kind of thing. It wasn't always the funnest projects I was doing. So while I was super proud of that and, I wasn't exactly starving kind of thing while being a starving artist, it definitely, I could see a bigger potential in cannabis moving forward. So started to do some things with them, which included like a big burning that I did live at an event that they were hosting. It was a commission piece that they ended up hanging on their wall afterwards, which was really cool. And then that kind of was the beginning of the transition to me going into the legal cannabis industry.
So, Chris, I don't know if you know much about our story here, but as a newbie, so I'm a non-consumer, MJ kind of got me to try cannabis 3 times. Bowling score went down. I decided some things aren't. What's that?
Just smoking so far.
Okay. To be fair, we'll try some other methods in a little bit. But I'm always very interested to know, as a newbie, how our guests got into cannabis in the first thing. What was your entrance in? Was it recreational as a kid? Was it medicinally later on in life? Where did that journey start with you?
Gotcha. So I always like to say the only thing I know and have more experience with than wood is weed, and kind of leads me. Either way, I'm burning trees for a living, so it's kind of
nice.
A cool part of it.
Okay, you got to go with Chris Burns now, period. Just make it happen, buddy.
But I started when I was like 16. It was most definitely recreational. It was just around with friends, and I kind of had a family background of issues with harder drugs that kind of always, kept me away from, a bit scared at a young age from those things. And I think, in my young rebellious modes, I wasn't too put off by trying cannabis. It didn't seem like, the same kind of thing. And it was around friends. So I definitely was, I'd say for like even the first 15 years, it was fairly recreational focused. And then I started to realize how actually, there were medical components to it. When I first went for an actual, medical license, and you see all the conditions that they consider it applicable for, I'm like, I really was kind of self-medicating, whether it was for, pain, sleep, social anxiety type things like that. I could see how I was using it in a medicinal way. And I think, I believe this is maybe even like a loose quote by Cheech and or Chong about, all cannabis use is medicinal. And the term R&R apparently was like something that came from the military, that it was actually prescribed to soldiers that like, hey, rest and relaxation are very important to your health, mental and physical. And I think cannabis provides that for almost anyone using it, whether they're thinking about it recreationally or medicinally. So I came to realize that, and what was just kind of a fun getting high thing for most of that time, I realized the benefits and had been exposed to how many people it helped in different ways, and then really started to get into like the advocate and activism part of it as well.
Well, that is a wrap.
Blunt wrap?
No, was it hemp? A wrap by Hemp and M.
A hemp wrap.
A hemp wrap. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you will tune in again. You can again watch this podcast, The Noobie and the Doobie, on YouTube, which we always recommend because you can't see the cool outfits over in podcast form, but you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all those other listening in the podcatchers, as they call them. And
we're on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, right? All at The Noobie and the Doobie.
Yes. We live mostly on Instagram, a little bit on Facebook, but everything's at The Noobie and the Doobie. Even on YouTube, you can just type in that at The Noobie and the Doobie. But we would also say, if you enjoyed that interview that we had with Chris Burns.
You don't want to say pyrographer?
With the pyrographer, Chris Burns. Or any of the interviews that we have. A lot of them, you can watch them in their fullness on our Patreon page. And then in there, if you support us monthly, you get access to the unedited versions of our videos, of our interviews.
In full.
Yeah. So as of right now, in terms of, unless you're watching this video 3 years from now, if you go onto Patreon at The Noobie and the Doobie for $4.20 a month, you can support us and help us keep this thing going, as well as see full interviews from Chaclair, the Canadian rapper, and as well Ross Rebliati, the Canadian gold medalist from the Olympics, and Chris Burns, who you saw today. So check out everything. Everything's at The Noobie and the Doobie. Thank you so much. Have an awesome Christmas. Tell all your friends.
Yeah, don't forget to share with your friends, whether they're a newbie or a doobie. Sorry, I kind of got sidetracked there for a moment, because I was thinking about, if somebody watches us 3 years from now, wouldn't that make us time travelers?
Whoa. And I'm not even high.
Think like a doobie.
What are your final words?
Stay lifted.
And keep on laughing. And Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother...